Madwa, Panya, Jerusalem. Stand up as Jerusalem. Mark reader. The blessing of the Sabbath. Barakata Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Nathalanawa, Hashabmat, Bashalawam, to water. Amen. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that give to us the Sabbath in peace. Thank you, so be it. Psalms 121. Ta'ilam, Maha, Asharim, Akkad. Anya, Harayam, Yunimya, Al, Ahariam, Mahayan, Yabua'a, Isaiah, Yabua'a, Mayahawa, Shasha, Shamayam, Waratiza, La'a, Yonathan, Lamawat, Rogalia, Yala'a, Yanawum, Shashamarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawum, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shashamar, Yasharala, Yahawa, Shamaria, Yahawa, Tazalia, I, Yad, Yamenya, Yawamum, Hashamash, La'a, Hakaya, Wayarak, La'a, Balayala, Yahawa, Yashamaria, Makal, Rai, Yashimar, Napasha, Yahawa, Yashimar, Hawalakia, Wabaya, Maitha, Wa'id, Iwalam, Ba'asham, Yahavusha, the water. Amen.
Psalms 121. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Amen.
Amen. Hear, O Israel, Shema Yasha'ala. Shama, Yasharala, Yahweh, Alahainawa, Yahweh, Akkad. Shama, Yasharala, Yahweh, Alahainawa, Yahweh, Akkad. Shama, Yasharala, Yahweh, Alahainawa, Yahweh, Akkad.
Deuteronomy 6:4, Hail Israel, the Lord our power is one Lord. Amen. Amen.
The Lord's Prayer, Yahweh, Sapala. Abinawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Chaya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'ah, Ratizawanka, Chaya, Aisha, Baratizar, Ka, Bashemayim, Netanelawa, Lakam, Yawum, Za, Wasalaknawa, Kawawatinawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawawatinawa, Wala'a, Abiyanawa, Al, Asaya 1, Abal, Awashainara, Marai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwat, Wa'ala, Wahatapa Arak, Waiwalam. Amen.
Matthew 6:9. After this manner, therefore, pray, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
Amen. Aisha Rama Tazawat, the Ten Commandments. La'a, Yahaya, Laka, Alahayam, Akarim, Apanya, La'a, Daisha, Laka, Pasal, Wala'a, Duibadam, La'a, Halakwakra, Shamwa, Yahweh, Alahayaka, Lashua, Zakar, At, Hayawam, Hashabat, Lakotashwa, Kabad, Abaka, wa Amaka, La A, the Ratizak, La A, Dana A, La A, Taganab, La A, Daina, Shakor, La A, Takamad, Kal, Asherah, Laraika, Aman.
Exodus 20:3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy strength that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Amen.
Amen. Yeshua be seated. Barakta Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Asherah, Nathanawa, Karya, Hagapan, Tawada, Aman, La, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Yasha'Allah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, that gift us the fruit of the vine. Thank you, so be it. To Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, with Israel. Imadwa, Panya, Jerusalem, stand and face Jerusalem. Barakta Yahweh, Hakadal, Rakawam, Abiyah, Wanara'ah, Aliyawan, Malak, Shah, Shamayam, Waratazar, Wakal, Dabarim, Kayayam, Wagam, Amashiach, Mayahawa, Hadawanawa, Habnawa, Apalah, Yawaitiza, Yahweh Shai, Zakarnawa, Yahweh, Barataza 1, Imka, Yasha'Allah, Izarna, Mana, Wasap, Yasha'Allah, Al, Nanawa, Yamyan, Aita, Kayawamyam, Makodam,
Makodam,
Babukasha,
Babakasha,
Shalak,
Shalak,
Mayaka Allah,
Mayaka Allah,
Watazawadak,
Watazawadak,
Alahayam,
Alahayam,
La,
La,
Maganawa,
Maganawa,
Rapanawa,
Rapanawa,
Washamar,
Washamar,
Alnawa,
Alnawa,
Baikor,
Baikor,
Shalak,
Shalak,
Haraka,
Haroka,
Shal,
Shal,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushai,
Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Lalamadnawa,
Lalamanawa,
Rabiam,
Rabiam,
Kakama,
Kakama,
Tabawana,
Tabawana,
Wada'ai,
Wada'ai,
Shal,
Shal,
Tabarka,
Tabarka,
Basham,
Basham,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushai,
Tawada,
Tawada,
Tumyad,
Tamyad,
Waiwalam,
Waiwalam,
Aman.
Aman.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, the great, merciful, mighty, terrible, most high power, King of heaven and earth, and all things living, and also the anointed from Yahweh, our Lord, our friend, the wonderful counselor, Yahweh Shai. Remember us, Yahweh, favorably, your people Israel. Help us build and gather Israel most high. We beg you, right now, like the days of old, please send Michael and the righteous powers to protect us, heal us, and watch over us. Mainly, send the spirit of Yahushua to us to teach us much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of thy word in the name of Yahushua. Repeat the Hebrew. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua that give to us the law. Barakata Yahweh,
Barakata Yahweh,
Bahasham,
Basham,
Yahushua,
Yahushai,
Asherah,
Asherah,
Nathanawa,
Nathanawa,
Hatawara.
Hatawara.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua that give to us the light to see. Barakata Yahweh,
Barakata Yahweh,
Bahasham,
Basham,
Yahushua,
Yahushai,
Asherah,
Asherah,
Nathanawa,
Nathanawa,
Awar,
Awar,
Lara.
Lava,
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua that give to us the rams on to call the people. Barakata Yahweh,
Barakata Yahweh,
Bahasham,
Basham,
Yahushua,
Yahushai,
Asherah,
Asherah,
Nathanawa,
Nathanawa,
Koran,
Korban,
Hayal,
Hayal,
Lakora,
Lakara,
Ha'ain.
Ha'ain.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua that give to us the olive oil to anoint Israel. Barakata Yahweh,
Barakata Yahweh,
Bahasham Yahushua,
Basham Yahushai,
Asherah,
Asherah,
Nathanawa,
Nathanawa,
Hashaman,
Hashaman,
Zayat,
Zayat,
Lamashak,
Lamashak,
Yasha'ala,
Yasha'al.
Yeshaba, be seated.
You know, I tell my friends, in my little gangster friends I still got, you keep reading to me, man. So I said, okay, no problem. And I pray for the 12 tribes of Israel. So that includes you. If you want to learn history. See, because the way he looked at it, I looked at it that way too, but I looked up at it like water, and I ain't seen nothing. He already made it strong. I don't know what you about to do. Water. Channel 12 PBS people. Channel 10. Fox 29. But,
Shalom, Israel.
so,
My name is Priest Kahan Yawakanan, and I'll be presiding over the service. Today's the Sabbath service. There's a law that required that Israel, the Black, Hispanics, the Native American, who Father is the same, that make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Black, Hispanics, and Native American, who mainly in the Western Hemisphere and also other parts of the world also. But mainly we're here in the Western Hemisphere. And today we're reading Numbers chapter 9 and 10. So we're going to go into the original Hebrew, Lashawan Kodash, the Holy Tongue, the original text. And I'll be reading out of this is an art scroll interlinear. It's not King James Version translation, but to give you an idea of, as you can see, maybe you can see, gives you an idea of the words. For some words, you have to go into the Hebrew and find out the true meaning of the word. So, without further ado, I'm going to go into Numbers chapter 9. Yeah,
What's it?
the bar, yeah. The bar. Speak.
Bar.
Yeah. Where the bar, Yahweh al Masha ma the bar ma the bar anya ba shan ha ha sha na yat la taza atham ma'aratza matazarium ba kadash hara ashwan la amar, verse 2, wa ya aishwa banya yasha'ala at ha pa sak, Passover, ba ma wa aidwa, verse 3, ba a ra rab I ha aishar yawam ba ka dash ha zaha ba yan ha I rab yam ta I sha wa or the Aishwa a Atwa ba ma I dawa Aidwa. Yeah, the water possession, right? ka kal ka kwa ka kwat yawa wa ka kal masha pat yawa ta aishwa atwa. Verse 4, waya dabar masha al banya yasha'ala la shat hapa sak. Verse 5, waya aishwa at hapa sak bara ashwan ba rab I shar yawam la ka dash ba yan ha rabiam postpone. I think it's coming up again. This thing it says postponing. What's this? 4 hours. What was that? Rabiam. What it was? Bama Dabar Sayanya Kakal Ashara Taza Waha Yahweh at Masha Khan, right? Aishwa Banya Yasha'ala, verse 6, wa Yahaya An Ansha Yum Ashura Anashiam. Yum is plural, right? Ashura Ha Yawa Tama Yum Samayam La Napash Adam wa la ya kalwa la shat ha pasak ba yawom ha wa ya ko rabwa la panya masha wa la panya aharon ba yawom wa hawa wa. Verse 7, waya amarwa ha an yum nashiam ha ma law yawa was it an kanwa nak nawa ta ma yum la napash adam la ma na garai la ba lat ya ha kwa ra yab at kwa ra ban Yahweh ba ma aitwa ba sa waka banya yasha Allah. Verse 8, wa ya amar alham masha I madwa I maha Yahweh lakam. Verse 9, wa ya dabar Yahweh al masha la amar. Verse 10, dabar al banya yasha Allah la amar ayash ayash ta ma'a la napash the rock ra pa pa lakam all la da rat yakam wa aisha pasak la Yahweh. Verse 11, ba kadash ha shanya ba rab iha ya bayam I shawa atwa al matazawat wa ma ra yam ya kal hawa. Verse 12, la ya sha ya ra wa ma manwa aid bakor wa I tazam la ya I ya sha barwa bawa kakal ka kwat ha pasak ya aish wa atwa. Verse 13, wa ha yash ashara ha wa ta ha war wa ba the rock la ha ya ha wa ka dal la I shawat ha pasak wa na ka rat ha na pash ha wa ma I ma I'm ya ha kaya kor ban Yahweh la ha kor yab ba ma I wa ka ta o kata awa ya sha ha yash ha wa. Verse 14, wa ka ya ga war at come gar wa ya sha wa I sha Ha or what? Aisha?
No, the first you said the dot.
What?
It's why, but the first word you said is yeah.
Okay. Wa I wa Aisha Pasak la Yahweh ka ka kat hmm?
Akwa.
ka kwat ha pa sak wa ka ma sha patwa han ya Aisha ka kwa ha ak kat, right? Ya haya la lakam wala gar wala a zarak ha'aratiza. Verse 15. Wa ba ya wam ha kwa yam at ha ma shakan ha ma shakan ha saha ha I nan at ha ma shakan la ahal ha I that wa ba I rab Yahaya il Hama Shakan Kamara Aha Ayash Id Bakor, verse 16, Kan Yahaya Sama Yad Ha I Nan Ya Ka Sanwa Wamara Aha Ayash La Ya Laha, verse 17, wa labia ha I la what ha I nan ma il ha ahal wa akarya kan yasa aiwa banya yasha'ala wa ba ma kwa wam a shara yasha kan sham ha I nan sham yaka nawa banya yasha'ala, verse 18, il haya Yahweh Yasaiwa Banya Yasha'ala wa il haya Yahweh Yahanwa Kal Ya Maya Ashara Ya Shahan Ha I Nan il ha ma shakan yaka nawa, verse 19, waba ha ara yaka ha I nan il hama shakan yama yam ra no, rabiam washa marwa banya yasha'ala at masha marat Yahweh wala a yasa aiwa, verse 20, wayash ashura yahai nan yamayam ma shapar il hama shakan il Haya, Yahweh, Yaka, Na, Wa, Ail, Haya, Yahweh, Ya, Sa, I, Wa, 21, Wa, Yash, Asherah, Yahaya, Ha, I, Nun, Ma, I, Rob, Id, Bakor, Wa, Na, Il, I, Nun, Baba, Kor, Wa, Na, Sai, Wa, Al, Ya, Wa, Mum, Wala, Ya, La, Wa, Na, I, La, I, Nun, Wa, Na, Sa, Iwa, verse 22, Al, Ya, Ma, Wum, Al, Hadash, Al, Yamayam, Ba, Ha, Ra, Yaka, Nan, Il, Hama, Kan, La, Kan, Il, Yawa, Yaka, Kanwa, Banya, Yasha'ala, La'a, Ya, Sa'aiwa, Wa, Baha, Latwa, Yasa, Iwa, verse 23, Il, Haya, Yahweh, Ya, Ya, Kanwa, right? Wa, Il, Haya, Yahweh, Ya, Iwa, At, Ma, Sha, Ma, Rat, Yahweh, Sha, Marwa, Il, Paya, Yahweh, Bayad, Masha. That's, that's chapter 10. Okay. Okay, so we're going to the English now. And the Lord spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the first month of the second year after they were come out of the land of Egypt. So when they say that for the first verse, so after the Passover, in the second year, the first month, we came out of Egypt. So the Most High had a great redemption after the Most High punished the Egyptians. So in Exodus chapter 12, verse, Exodus chapter 12, verse 2. It says, "This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you." So in the Gregorian calendar, their first month is in January, but our first month is in the springtime, March, April, the beginning of spring, not in the dead of winter. So this is our calendar year. This is the biblical calendar year. First month is in the springtime, which is around March, April. Verse 2, it said, "Let the children of Israel also keep the Passover at his appointed season." So when it said appointed season, you could go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. So it's like, how do you know the Passover? So he said the beginning of the month is around March, April, springtime. So the verse 2, you see Genesis 1 and 14. "And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." So there are going to be lights in the heaven. You have the sun, you have the moon, and you have the different seasons. So just say you're in the middle of nowhere, you're not influenced by any society, you could know the moon, the sun, from sundown to sundown is the first day. It says that when it says the evening or morning is the first day, and the second day, and also you can see the moon. It goes through it goes through its cycle from the black, which is a new moon, and then it goes to different phases, and it come back to the new moon again. So you could calculate each month by the new moon, by the moon cycle. So wherever you're in the world, you could calculate by the moon. So you can able to keep the Passover in the appointed season. So when is the beginning of the first month is going to be black. So then it goes through its cycle, and it says here, verse 3, "In the 14th day of this month at even ye shall keep his appointed season according to all the rites of it, and according to all the ceremonies thereof shall ye keep it." So the rites, when you read Exodus chapter 12, you could read down to see how the Passover is kept specifically. That you can have a like in verse 5. Exodus chapter 12, verse 5, it says, your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats. So you can use a goat or a sheep for the Passover. We would use a sheep for the Passover. So when you read chapter 12, you can read all the pertinent information according to all the rites of it and according to all the ceremonies. We should keep the Passover. We should not break the bones. We should have it at it. It says, even that's when I go to verse 9. It says, eat not of it raw or sodden at all with water, but roast it with fire, his head and his legs, and with the pertinence thereof. So you can read Exodus chapter 12, and it gives you specific details. Verse 4, and Moses spake unto the children of Israel that they should keep the Passover. So the Passover, when we came out of Egypt, of the hard bondage under Pharaoh, but the Most High passed over us and punished the Egyptian, because we were in the land of Goshen, and the Most High plagued the Egyptians, and the Most High passed over us. So the Most High wanted to keep this Passover, keep the Passover. Verse 5, and they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the first month at evening, which is the 15th day, which is the middle of the month. We said you can see the moon. The moon is full. At even in the wilderness of Sinai, the Lord commanded Moses, so did the children of Israel. So the Most High commanded Moses, and the Most High gave Moses his specific instructions to the children of Israel. So he was the mediator, intermediate, between the Most High and the children of Israel. So the Most High gave him the instructions and everything, and so we can know it. So even when you read as Moses between the Most High and the children of Israel, even the children of Israel says, and they spake unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear, but let not God speak with us, lest we die. That's Exodus 20, verse 19. Verse 6. Certain men who were defiled by the dead body of a man, that they could not keep the Passover on that day, and they came before Moses and before Aaron on that day. So verse 6. You can read Numbers 19 and 11. The car.
Exodus.
Numbers.
19,
Yeah.
11. So, Exodus 19, 11.
Yeah. Numbers.
I mean, Numbers 19, 11. Right? Okay. He that touched the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days.
So they were unclean, so they couldn't keep the Passover in the first month. So they came, they're unclean. Even when you have a nocturnal, emission during the day or something, by the evening, by sundown, you're clean and you're able to keep the Passover.
Right.
Saying that you'll wash yourself up and change your clothes and you're clean for the Passover. But they were defiled, so they're defiled by the dead body, so they couldn't come and keep the Passover. But the Most High said, we're not supposed to be coming. If you're unclean, you're not supposed to come among the congregation.
Right.
So a lot of our, some of our people, working in the morgue and the funeral homes and all of that stuff, so they become unclean all the time. They could never come, so they could never come to the Sabbath day, the feast days, or anything because they're unclean all the time. So they come and see, what should they do? Verse 7. And those men said unto him, we are defiled by the dead body of a man, wherefore are we kept back, that we may not offer an offering of the Lord in his appointed season among the children of Israel. So they were kept back. So verse 8, and Moses said unto them, stand still, and I will hear what the Lord will command concerning you. So, Numbers chapter 9, verse 8. So Moses is going to go into the Most High to see. He said, they're defiled by a dead body. They can't come in. So what should they do? Verse 9. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if any man of you or of your posterity shall be unclean by reason of a dead body, or be in a journey far off, the Lord. So the Most I say, so if he's not among them or far off, he shall keep the Passover, the 14th day of the second month. So by the time the second month comes, they're going to be clean, Passover. But the Most High said that they should keep it in the 14th day of the second month. With same everything that, everything with unleavened bread, bitter herbs, and so on and so forth. At even it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. So the same way for the first month, how we kept the Passover, they should keep it the second month. verse 12.
See, at that point, Moses was the mediator between the Most High and them. Any question that they went, they go to Moses. When they asked him, okay, I was unclean, and they already knew that when they unclean, they cannot come near to do service for the Most High. But that Passover, which was the second Passover, the incident when before we came out of Egypt, so that Passover right there was the second time that we were gonna keep the Passover.
Yeah, this is the second year.
Second year that we were gonna keep the Passover. So in Exodus the 18th chapter, we're gonna read. I'll read 13 through 15.
To the verse 11.
When they, inquire about what to do, how they go to Moses for everything, to find out about what the Most High said, the instruction that the Most High would give them, so that we can keep the law. And 13 reads, and it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people. And the people stood by Moses from the morning unto the evening. So Moses was there, and the people kept coming to him because they wanted to know, what the next step is. Because that's the first time they find themselves in that type of situation in the wilderness. They didn't know what to do. So every question, anything that they wanted, was Moses. Verse 14. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, what is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone? And all the people stand by thee from morning unto even. And Moses said unto his father-in-law, because the people come unto me to inquire of the Most High, of God, a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another, and I do make them know the statutes of God and his laws. So if they had a question, whatever question it might be, or they go to Moses. In the matter of the Passover, to show how the Most High, we got the Passover, he gave them a second chance to keep the Passover if they didn't keep it, or if they were traveling, to a far country, they were in journey, then they would still have a chance in the second month to still keep the Passover if they were.
So what was that again? Exodus?
That was Exodus 18, 13, 16.
Exodus 13?
Exodus
18,
chapter
13.
And verse 13 to 16.
13 to 16. So even there was a part in the dispute in Numbers chapter 12, verse 2. So since we're talking about Moses being an intermediary between the Most High and the children of Israel, so even Numbers chapter Numbers chapter 12, verse 2. Got it. And they said, had the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses, had he not spoken also by us? And the Lord heard it. Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. So, there's a part you can read further down that they were questioning as if the Most High is only speaking, dealing with, with Moses. What about them, Aaron and Miriam?
What is that again?
That's Numbers 12 and 2.
Number 12.
You do 9 and 10 on Falconer
Hmm?
and Numbers chapter.
Numbers chapter 9.
Do 9 now.
Yeah, not yet, 9.
9 and what?
And verse 12. No, verse
Which
11.
talking about Numbers 12 and what?
No, I was on Numbers 12 and 2.
12 and 2.
Since Moses was the intermediate, and Aaron and Miriam was disputing as if the Moses don't speak to them, them also. But here the Most High, check them here. So let me read verse 11 again. The 14th day of the second month at evening they shall keep it and eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. Verse 12. They shall leave none of it unto the morning, nor break any bone of it. According to all the ordinances of the Passover, they shall keep it. So it said Exodus 12 and 9.
Exodus 12 and 9.
Yeah. So I'm just taking excerpts of it. Verse 12.
Verse 12.
Exodus 12 and 9. It says, eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire his legs, his head with his legs, and with the appurtenances thereof. And it says here also, and ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. So for verse 12, so since Christ is a perfect sacrifice that he gave himself up, it says John 19:36. John 19:36, it says, for these things were done that the scripture should be fulfilled, a bone of him shall not be broken. And also you read it in Psalms 34:20.
in Exodus 12:43.
Yeah.
Exodus 20:43.
12:43.
12:43.
Yeah. Also Psalms 34:20. He keepeth all his bones, and none of them is broken.
Mhm.
Verse 13. Since we kept the Passover in the first month, and those are unclean, they can keep the Passover in the second month. Trying to find this. It says, verse 13. But the man that is clean, right,
Mhm.
and is not in a journey, and forbear to keep the Passover, even the same soul shall be cut off from among his people, because he brought not the offering of the Lord in his appointed season. That man shall bear his sin. So if you clean and you don't keep the Passover in the first month, oh, you don't come to the Passover, and even if you're unclean, then you can keep the Passover in the second month and you don't do it, the most that say that man shall bear his sin, and he shall be cut off from among his people. Even so, these are the feasts, and this is one of the high holy days that we keep. It's in Deuteronomy for verse 13. I just want to read Deuteronomy 16 and 16. Deuteronomy 16 and 16. It says, three in the choose in the feast of unleavened bread, which is Passover, and the feast of weeks, which is Pentecost, and the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty.
Mhm.
So this is a required feast that all male should appear. So the Most High says, if you don't keep the Passover in the first month or the second month, the Most High says, cut that soul, cut him off, and shall bear his sin. Verse 14. And if a find some up.
So this was prior to us getting into Jerusalem. It's still in the wilderness. We was keeping a feast there. Even in the wilderness, the Most High was very expedient on letting it be known that you got to keep the Passover.
Mm-hmm.
This is another example of those who say, well, we're not in our homeland.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't got to keep the holy day. It's not that important. Mm-hmm. Whereas right here, we wasn't in the homeland. Mm-hmm. We was in the wilderness.
Yeah.
We was in the wilderness for 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Having to keep the Passover in the wilderness. Mm-hmm. And the Most High, the first year after we kept the Passover, or came out of Egypt, the Most High saying, y'all better keep it. These are the only If you're unclean, you still gonna keep it. You're gonna keep it the next month.
Yep.
Right? That doesn't preclude you from not keeping it. So for
Put it
those,
clean, right?
yeah, for those who think that because the land is what now the Most High is concerned, or the temple is what the Most High is concerned about, he was very being here. Like if that person who clean, meaning you're able to keep it. There's nothing withholding you or keeping you back. You're not on a far journey, or you're not unclean by reason of a death or something else. And you notice that he just says about death, right? Because a dead body is something that body is outside of your control. But being unclean because of your wife or something else, you have control over that. And so those two points that he's bringing out is all right. I understand that, but anything else, you are able to make it. You are able to keep it, right? Whether you keep it in your house or you keep it at a hotel, you keep it at a school, you keep it. You're gonna keep it, right? We kept it in the wilderness for 40 years, well 39 years, and the Most High was 40 years. The Most High was like, look, if you don't keep it, I'm cutting you off because you didn't come and bring your offering before the Most High on that time in this appointed season. So it can't be used as an excuse to say, well, we're not in our homeland, we can't keep it because we got the temple. Well, we was keeping it before, during, and after the temple. So
There's no excuse.
no excuse.
Yeah, this is a required feast for the Most High, because the first Passover, we're all there. We're all there. Went to leave Egypt, but the Most High was, punishing Egypt so much.
In Deuteronomy 16:15. But we in Numbers chapter 9, verse 13 and 14.
Verse 14 now. It says, verse 14. Numbers chapter 9, verse 14. And if a stranger you and will keep the Passover unto the Lord according to the ordinance of the Passover and according to the manner thereof, so shall he do. He shall have one ordinance both for the stranger and for him that was born in the land. I should have did it before. The stranger here. Stuck in the stranger. The stranger is another nation. All right, verse 14.
Explain it again.
Born in the land.
So as far as I understood, the stranger here is a Gentile here. Because I know all, Isaiah 66 verse 23, that all, nation gonna keep the Passover with us. Because when you read Isaiah 66, Isaiah 66 verse 23. It says, and it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, said the Lord.
Which Isaiah what?
Isaiah 66, 23. So this is a stranger, a non-Israelite. Verse 14. Kansamat.
Right. So when we deal with verses like this, I think it's two pieces that has to be expounded upon as far as for keeping the high holy days. Right. So when it comes to us keeping the holy day amongst ourselves, we know it's the holy gathering, the holy convocation, and that the nations are not holy people, right? Because they don't follow our laws the same way that we do, right? They don't keep the dietary laws the same way we do. They don't do all of the same things. Hence, when you read in Genesis, when Jacob's daughter was with that heathen guy, and Reuben and Simeon got upset and like, you know, she done went and they were one of the undefiled, right? Because they're not clean spiritually nor physically the same way that Israel is. They're not clean in that same regard. So they wouldn't congregate with us to keep the holy day. The same way we don't have congregations with heathens, even though I know GCC does, but we don't keep it because we are a holy gathering. It's a holy gathering, right? So, and they're not set apart as a nation like how Israel is set apart. The Most High set Israel apart from everybody else. Deuteronomy 7:6, right? Yeah. So that on that regard, as far as for how Israel kept the holy days amongst themselves, was secluded from everybody else. Now, within the land of Israel, it's just not Israelites that live in the land of Israel, or that will be dwelling in the land of Israel. So case in point, fast forward, when you go to the time of Joshua, as we're getting into the land, those Hamites, they in place. And the brothers like, oh, okay, cool. We'll make a vow with you. We'll never do no harm. We'll never kill you, do nothing else. But then they kind of find out they're a neighboring Hamitic nation. And then when Joshua and them found out about it, they was upset and said, we can't do anything to them now because y'all done made a vow with these men. We can't kill them. But what we're going to have to do is just make them drawers of wood, hewers of wood and drawers of water, meaning bondmen and bondwomen. So now they got to be our slaves in the land, right? So now if they're slaves in the land, when it's time for us to keep the Passover, guess what? They slaves and they're dwelling in the land. So now they have to abide by the rights of what we're going to do for the Passover. So now when we start talking about no leaven shall be found in your houses, this is what Israel, this is what we do as a nation. So now if you dwelling here, you got to abide by that. You can't have leaven in your houses. You can't start putting, and you are bonding? No, you can't do that. So in your court, you ain't going to have that either. It's going to be the same thing. But you're not going to do the same type things as we do. We have privileges and rights that y'all don't, right? In the same way how the Most High had it with the Levites have privileges and rights where the rest of the tribes don't. So it's always boundaries. So when we start reading the scripture and talk about inner courts and outer courts, we would be someone on the inner court, right? The nations would be on the outer court. They can't say, well, we want to come in there too. We keeping it. Okay, cool. Y'all gonna keep it, but y'all gonna keep it over there. Right. Y'all can't come in here. This is only for us. This is the Most High said. Okay. Same thing with a priest going in to do the offerings, where the priest is going in there. A Simeonite can't say, well, I want to come in there too, because I'm an Israelite. No, you a stranger to that. Okay. That's not for you. So it's two perspectives to look at it as far as for what Israel would do collectively together and how we would keep it. And then if you have heathens there or strangers that's dwelling in the land, they now got to abide by this. And I think we mentioned this a couple months ago. When you go to other countries, I think it was during the Holy Day, when you go to other countries, you got to abide by their rules. Right? If they say, listen, women got to have head wraps on or whatever, and you say, well, I'm from Sweden, and you come over there, they're going to look at you like, well, you ain't in Sweden. You over here now. You in Saudi Arabia or whatever. You got to abide by this if you're going to be in this section of our country. We got strict rules here. If not, you got to go. Don't even come in here. Well, you're going to get rocks thrown at you and other things thrown at you, right? You can even look at that on the street level. You know, I see these things going on nowadays when people fly people be performing. It's like you got to check in. You got to come and check in with us to make sure that we give you the pass to come in our city. If you don't come check in, you're going to have problems. Well, that's their rules. If you don't want to abide by their rules, then don't go in there.
Right.
Or you're going to face the consequences that come with it. Right? So it's the same thing with us. If you don't want to abide by this, what we got, what the Most High is telling us, then you, stranger, going to abide by, you're going to have to face the consequences. We got to face the consequences. Because we just read the Most High said, listen, if you not unclean and you don't show up, I'm going to deal with you. Right? So imagine us, if we got the Most High dealing with us because we're not keeping certain things, you think we're going to allow heathens in there doing it in our home, in our land, doing any old thing? Oh, hell no. Right? The heathen right now not the priority. We're the priority. In the kingdom, then now that measure is going to be extended to them. Where it's like, all right, now you got this onus on you. Now the responsibility is on you. Oh, you don't want to do it? Well, we ain't doing it before. Well, you got to do it now. All right, now you're going to have to get this behind whipping, or you're going to get this punishment, or whatever it is. But now you're not doing it. Right? So there's that piece of understanding that. Because even in the next chapter, you're going to see that it ain't just us. It wasn't just us there. So you always, the Most High was perfect in the law to account for things that even we didn't even see at that moment. It's like a parent, you know, who knows more than a child. Right? Listen, I've been through this already. I know more than you. I'm gonna tell you, let me teach you some principles so that when you do get to that age or you get to that point in your life, you can remember it and then choose wisely, right? Or act accordingly. So
I mean, that type of understanding is not easy for other people who have been brought up, you know, with a doctrine saying that, you know, it's all about Israel, it's all about Israel. You know, the hell with the other nation, they're gonna go, you know. Now to come and get that understanding that the heathen also have to abide by the laws of the Most High. It's kind of tough for some people to digest because they're in hard. You know, Deuteronomy 6:4, the Lord our God is one Lord. That means there's one law they supposed to obey, but there's a hierarchy on how that law is given and how it's supposed to be kept. But there's only one law that should govern the entire earth. Well, granted, the heathen, they still gonna have their little things they do here and there because they will not have the understanding of the law the way the Most High gives us the law, because the Most High is dealing with us. They're gonna have that tendencies, you know, to doubt the Most High here and there. But in our case, it shouldn't be so, right? So that's how, you know, heathen gonna be around and abide by the same law. So then, you know, because the Most High is one Lord over every God that you can imagine.
Yeah. So Numbers 15 and 16, it says, one law and one manner shall be for you and for the stranger that sojourneth with you.
Right.
So that'll be one law. Like we're keeping the Passover, no unleavened bread. They can't be eating, come in eating a cake or something like that. You know, they have to do the same thing. Like, for example, you know, we have clean meat. They can't be eating swine's flesh. It's going to be against the law. So, you know, a lot of unclean meat consumption is going to have to stop because, you know, we're going to be in charge. There's one manner of law. So we're going to keep the Passover. Yes, we're going to have it perfectly, you know, Hebrews 8 and 8. We're going to keep this law perfectly. Then we're going to teach the strangers. We're going to teach them how to keep the law. They may mess up once in a while or so, but we got to teach them how to keep it. You know? And even for the Passover and the holy days and feast days and things like that, we're going to not work. The Sabbath day, there's going to be no working.
Right.
No working, period. Yeah.
And also it's the same way on a lower level. when we look at how Esau's system is constructed, right? We always say they're only gonna let you get but so far, right? So on the most sides in our kingdom, it's the same way, right? The heathen only gonna get but so far. They cannot be on a higher level, where Israel is. So they only gonna be right here doing this, but we gonna be right there. Right. So it's the same thing that's being exemplified.
Yeah, like what Kahan Tamak saying. The Levites had certain rights that another Israelite just can't just go up in there and making offerings, because certain parts of the Levite are able to do certain things, but not an average Israelite. Kahan Tamak.
I'm gonna read 2 scriptures. This is Jeremiah 2:11. And I'm gonna read Micah 4.
Michael what?
4th chapter, from verse 4 to 6. This is Jeremiah 2:11. It says, "Has a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods?" Right. So when it says, "Has a nation changed their gods," this is Gorim or the other nation. Right. How easily do you see? How often do you see the other nations change their gods? Right. Very rare. You don't see that happen. Right. It says, "Which are yet no gods." They're nothing, and they don't budge from their God, have changed their glory for that which does not profit, right? So the living power has been changed over into a false God, right? Understand that. Think about that. The nations who are who are defiled, unclean, they don't budge from the thing that they deal with, but we change our glory to go and follow that, right? I'm gonna jump down to verse 13. It says, "For my people have committed 2 evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters." Right? So like like when you read in John, when Yahweh talks about, "If you believe on me, out of your belly shall flow rivers of living water." Right. The rivers of living water come from the Most High, comes from His Word, come from the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So that's where we get it from. He says, so you forsook that, and then it says, "And hew them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water." So you went somewhere else to go get living water. And it ain't even real. What you trying to hold on to got so many holes in it. Every theory you think about, you come up with this God, I can poke a hole in that, or I can bring that down. Whereas what is living here, what is resourceful, you've given it away. Right? So now this is that transition period of us now coming back to the Most High, right? The proving ground. But in the end, the Most High says, "I'm going to change your whole makeup. Your thought process, your wavelength is not going to be the same as what we're doing right now. You're not going to have that thought to want to go give up the Most High." Right? How we go from one to the next. Or I want to dabble in this. I want to read that book. I want to check out. You ain't going to have that thought in the kingdom Israel to do that. Right. But that's just Israel. Right? So now when you jump to Micah 4 and 4.
After
Yeah, go back.
Amos showed Elijah.
So Micah 4 and 4, it says, so when you read the first 3 verses, this is now when the Most High said Yahushua or Christ and the angels to come and bring the third world's war, redeem Israel, the destruction happens, all of that, and now we're back to what the Most High had always intended for Israel to be in a position where they're the ruling power and they're governing everything, right? So it says in verse 4, it says, but they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, symbolizing peace. Now we're at peace and harmony. We don't have to worry about anything else. We sit under our own vine, under our own family tree, under our own heritage. Right. We're not dealing with nobody else's, we're dealing with our own. And none shall make them afraid. You ain't got to worry about no cops coming and stopping you and reaching for that. Nah, all that's gone. Right. It says, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts have spoken it. Now check this out. For all people will walk everyone in the name of his God, and we will walk in the name of the Lord our power forever and ever. Right? So now remember, we was talking about earlier in Jeremiah, how often do you see the nations change their gods? They don't. They don't change. So now even here in the kingdom, the Most High says, we're going to walk in the name of the Most High forever and ever. We're going to be perfect in this. But those nations are still going to be dealing with all those false gods in the kingdom. Because remember, they're not going to have the same heart that we do. Right. Right? They still going to now go through their trials and tribulations now and being taught by us. So we're going to be like, listen, you know you're not supposed to be eating that swine's flesh. Right. But aforetime, they remembering, well, this was a part of our culture that we sacrifice swine. Well, nah, you're not going to sacrifice swine. And then we're going to come in and judge them. Yeah. But then they're going to go back. The same way how we slip and fall and here, this is ours. And we still sin. We still mess up. This ain't even really theirs. So we ain't going to expect them to be perfect. We're not going to expect them to do a hard 180 shift and be like, all right, yeah, now we just following it because y'all following y'all telling us. Nah. They still going to be doing this type of stuff in the kingdom. And we're going to be the ones now having to go to them and correct them. Right? They're not going to be coming into Israel doing this stuff. We're going to have to correct them. We find them, we have to chastise them and punish them the way in which the Most High dealt with us, but even on a harder level, because the Most High loved us, so he didn't deal with us like that. He deal with us on a harder level. Yeah.
So, I mean, one sec. I mean, they're going to serve their gods, but when it comes to the holy days and the feast days, they're going to have to come to our feast.
Yeah, but see, that's why even in the scriptures, when the Most High says, listen, if they don't want to come up to keep the feast of the tabernacles, I'm going to hold back the rain. Right? Now, that doesn't mean that they're like, oh, okay, cool. We're going to keep it. No, some of them ain't going to come. And they're going to have to get that judgment. Right? Think about it. The Most High has judgments in the scriptures for us that says if you don't do such and such, if this doesn't happen, this is going to happen. Okay. Did that prevent us? No, we still did it. So we can't expect them to be in perfect harmony and say, oh, the Most High said, if you don't come up, this is going to happen. And they all get in a straight line and act accordingly. No. That's what we're reading. They'll say, listen, they still going to walk in the name of their God. So those judgments are still going to happen to them. Those punishments are still going to happen to them. Right? Remember, the Lord even said that they got to get double for what they did to us in our captivity. Right? So if they're going to get double, we can't expect them to be all perfect harm and line and just walk in a corner. Nah, they're gonna be doing some stuff that we're gonna say, oh, really? Oh, okay. Let's go deal with them. What you got to answer?
But the priest is going to be one way, right?
No, the standard is the truth, because we will be the governing authority over the whole earth, right? But that doesn't mean that because that's the standard that everyone is in line or in accordance with it. Right? It's not going to be. It's only the only ones who's going to be in a perfect line with that is us. Is us, and then we now have to go and try to get them in line. Right. Remember, when you read up in this verse, matter of fact, jump to verse 2.
Verse 2.
And many nations have come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of power of Jacob, and we will teach us of his ways. We get taught right now. We in here getting taught right now. And does that mean as we go through this that I leave here today and I know exactly what is going on? Nah. I still read, since I've been in the truth, I'm still learning things that's coming out of the truth. I'm still battling my own demons, right? But in the kingdom, I'm not going to be battling those demons anymore. Right. That says, oh man, that car, oh man, I want that car. I'm coveting the car. He shouldn't have that car. Like, I ain't gonna have those type thoughts in my mind in the kingdom, whereas the heathen will have those type thoughts. Right. Well, who is they? Who is this guy? Right? Now, granted, I know he's a Jew, he's an Israelite, but damn, How do we follow them?
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't no people before. How are they now the people?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then, you know, they're gonna get that. And you're gonna have some who's gonna be real nice to you, and like even like now, you got some Edomites gonna be real nice. You're gonna have some ones who's still thinking that, you know, they got a little remorse, but they ain't gonna come fight us. Because you can tell you that there's gonna be no more wars in the kingdom. There's gonna be bond men, bond women, and that'll be that.
Swords in the plowshares.
Just has to be corrected, that's all.
But that swords in the plowshare. Khan Paquan?
And the only reason why this kingdom seems to be working is because wickedness is being followed very consistently.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems to be the norm, right? Even though we keeping the laws right now, trying to the best of our ability to keep the law,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yet you have the whole world going astray, but it seems to be the norm. So in the kingdom, it's gonna reverse, right? Where righteousness will be the norm, you're still gonna have a little bit of wickedness in there with the other nations.
Right.
Right? So they you know, we're gonna be the one who consistent with following the law. The high holidays will be spoken just like Christmas is being spoken of all over the world on a high level. Right? But still, as Christmas is going on a high level, but we still, the remnant, try to keep the law even in this, you know, wicked kingdom. So it's gonna be reversed. It's gonna be the other way around, right? We are confused today in dabbling, like the Hunter Mike bringing up in Micah, right? Like we confused now. We go into this. We go, maybe this one is better. I don't know about this Bible verse. Let me go here. Let me go there. Now we dabbling in everything. And then in the kingdom, it's gonna be them that's doing that.
Right.
So as they doing that, they become confused and we ruling over them.
Right.
So right now we confused, they ruling over us because they consistent in their wickedness.
Right.
Right.
Verse 15. Numbers chapter 9, verse 15. And on the day that the tabernacle was reared up, the cloud covered the tabernacle, namely the tent of the testimony, and at even there was upon the tabernacle as it were the appearance of fire until the morning. So when they say fire until the morning, so the fire would show light, until the morning. So we able to see the tabernacle was set up and to keep that fire, that light until the morning. Verse 16. So it was always the clouds covered it by day, and the appearance of light by night. So by day you have the clouds, and by night you have the fire.
Right.
So the fire, so you see the light, the illumination over the tabernacle. Khan Paquat, Khan Tamak.
And what's interesting, you don't see this like how you were talking about I forget what movie you was watching and you were attributing it to the scriptures, and the movie had it wrong.
Oh yeah, the Ten Commandments.
Yeah.
The commandments, yeah.
In a lot of the depictions of the story of when Israel came out of Egypt, they don't have this piece in them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see this adaptation where when Israel's in the wilderness and they have the tabernacle, that there's a chariot right there. There's a chariot over top the tabernacle, right? While we was in the wilderness, and it was just there. Like Israel never, to a certain point, as you read on in the story, what happened in the wilderness is going to be a certain point when the chariot then leaves. But the chariot was the guide. Like the chariot was the sign for us what we were going to do. So in this day, when we talking about quote unquote UFOs and things of that nature, like this is never described in association with God's chosen people. that there was a chariot that led them out through the Red Sea into the wilderness and was in the wilderness with them for a long period of time. Right? So now, when you have that separation, and we start watching these movies that's going on today, the Independence Day 1 and 2, and all these other different movies that show these so-called chariots, these so-called UFOs now coming and fighting against the earth.
Right.
They never said, well, these chariots was with the children of Israel. They were the guides to the children of Israel. So why would they come and want to fight against the earth if, as we read in the scriptures, they was here? It was identified. The Most High had them here for a reason. They was doing something, right? So now when you don't realize or put the connection together, and when you're ignorant, that's why the scripture says, therefore, in 6, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because here you're going to try to join forces, think you're going to go shoot missiles and lasers and beams and things at what is for you. That was your guy. That was your source. Now it's your enemy, right? So that's why in this storyline, you don't see that in the movie. Because if it was there, you watch the movie and you're like, well, wait a minute. Why is there a UFO right there? With the children of Israel. Right. Why is there a UFO with the children of Israel, guiding them, helping them, teaching them, telling? Why is that happening? Right? You don't have that connection. So what now? Because we miseducated and we kind of not taught these types of things, and it seems kind of small, but it now has a totally different perspective on our lives right now today.
Where in the movie,
we always fighting them.
But there's a tendency, a lot of people want to say what they saw in the movies, but doesn't in tune with the scripture. So even Exodus 13 and 21, it says,
wait a minute, Exodus 13, 21?
yes. Gabar, you can read that for me, please. You got it, Gabar? You got it, Gabar?
What is it? Exodus?
I wouldn't ask if everybody else
13.
All right. Okay, my brother.
Got the hallelujah. That'd have been too much evidence for us right there if they put that in the movie. Hey, mommy, what's that is falling up? It's called a chariot, man. You probably told it because, mama.
Because if they ask us the breakdowns and so on and so forth, all the characters would be black, instead of white and everything.
Yeah, because it would go to the same point that you're making up right now, bringing out, Khan, is if you watch those movies and the movies in the people in the movies depicted us, it have a different effect on us as we watch the movie. Right? Because now we are looking at them and we're seeing that they personify or identify with us. Whereas when you see Esau play everybody, he played everybody, then it's like, well, that has nothing to do with me. I'm just watching the movie. I'm watching someone else's history.
Yeah, they always want to go into the Bibles and all these great men and people, and they want to make movies about these about us and have the wrong characters playing.
That's why I got in trouble.
Yeah. So
excuse me, I mean to cut you off.
Exodus 13:21.
Excuse me. I said, Grandma, what do white people after this? She said, no. Keep looking at the show, just like that. What are white people back in Africa? Go ahead, brother, read.
All right, Exodus 13:21.
Yeah.
This is a good one, ain't it?
And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day and night.
Yeah. So the clouds by day, pillar of fire by night, so we can see.
Down here in Africa.
It wasn't hot. It was just a light to show, to guide us.
When you walk down Africa during the daytime, you gonna need an umbrella. I watch the football game. They come off the field. They got guys the whole thing's over their head because the sun beaming on them.
Okay. All right. Go on, Paquat.
But also you can read Exodus 40 and
For the,
17.
for the clouds.
No, for the tabernacle. Keep in mind the
Oh.
the tabernacle they were working they were working together, right? So that's when in the first month, that's when Moses put together the tabernacle. In the second year, in the first month. The second, yeah.
Okay.
So Exodus.
Exodus 40 and 17.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first day in the first day.
Yeah. So the tabernacle.
Right. So now the way it would operate is at nighttime, the pillar of fire, the chariot, will light up the tabernacle. So now in daytime, the cloud would come and cover the tabernacle.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It covered the tabernacle, right? You don't see it. So when you don't see it, the people they just stay there.
Okay.
Right? They build their tent wherever they were, right there.
So we can read it further on down
Right.
too. Yeah. Yeah, because it's a beautiful thing, you know. The Most High gave us guidance. So just like we, came out of the Feast of Tabernacles, so we dwell in tents, and I just want to get something quick. Acts 7:38.
What do you say, Acts 7:38?
Yeah, Acts 7.
38.
So since we read it, now we're able to read it because we know we're children of Israel. So it says that Acts 7:38. This is he that was in the wilderness with the angel which spake to him.
Acts 7:38.
Acts 7:38.
Let's get to it.
All right, let me let you read it then.
I can read. But where we at again?
Acts 7:38.
7:38.
Hey, Jonathan, I think fall it out. I think you should give everybody a chance to read it.
Yeah, I just read it quickly.
You can read it, get your own understanding, but everybody else got to get the same type of understanding, bro.
Okay, my brother.
Get him, Batak. Get him.
Batak. Batak.
Okay.
Right there, you see it?
Yeah, I see.
Oh, okay. Hope it works this time.
Okay. Good, sir.
Everybody got it?
Gun.
Yeah, you read it, my brother.
Okay. Here we go. Acts 7:38. This is he that was in the church in the wilderness with the angel which spake to him in the Mount Sinai, and with other fathers with our fathers who received the living order,
the lively
order to give
oracles.
Oracles, thank you, to give unto us.
Yeah, so this church in the wilderness is the tabernacles. So when certain people, the Gentiles, like they want to break it down and say, oh, the church, but then I realized that the church in the wilderness, when we came out of Egypt, we dwell in tents. It's like how some of us came out of the Feast of Tabernacles, we dwell in tents. Okay, so
what are they talking about? Moses there?
Oh, verse 38.
Yeah, who is he there? That's Moses?
In the church.
10 out of 10.
I'm not sure. This is he.
In the wilderness. Back then, that was Moses, or
Yeah, Moses
Joshua.
and the Mosai. No, Moses.
So we said it's Moses, right?
This is he.
And
7:38.
Acts 7:38.
Acts 7:38.
yeah, Moses.
That's Moses.
Yeah,
Okay.
Moses.
Say Mount Sinai.
Verse 17.
Question.
Oh,
Every now and again pop up.
yeah. Look up.
Yeah, look up.
The tabernacle, everybody couldn't go in, right?
Oh, we no. The tabernacle was like Aaron and the priests. Yeah, they did that service, and the rest of the children of Israel would just dwell in booths. When the clock came up from the tabernacle, then after that the children of Israel journeyed, and in the place where the cloud abode, where it stayed, there the children of Israel pitched their tents. So I said the fire by night, the cloud by day. So when these clouds, the chariots are moving, so where the chariot stays, then we're gonna stay there. If it start to move, then we're gonna move. Verse 18. At the commandment of the Lord, the children of Israel journeyed, and at the commandment of the Lord, they pitched. As long as the cloud abode upon the tabernacle, they rested in their tents.
Okay.
So when the cloud go,
Yeah.
we move, then we move, and when the rest, we rest, we stay there.
The back control there.
Yeah, Mosai, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Khan Pakwad.
All right, to add on to what y'all can bringing out, you get a visual, right? At nighttime, the pillar of fire shines on the tabernacle,
Right.
by giving light.
Right.
So when the daytime comes, right, the cloud can either cover the Ark of the Covenant.
Right.
So when it covers the Ark of the Covenant, tabernacle,
Yeah,
when it covers the tabernacle, it's indication wherever they are, that's where they stay.
They stayed.
Right. Once it's removed from the Ark,
Mm-hmm.
they start moving.
Okay. That's
yeah, that's gonna be later on when we reach.
That's the light.
Come on, man, get up, let's move on.
Right.
Get up, buddy.
No, when you read verse 222, you find out more about
Okay.
the length of time.
Gotta go, bro.
Verse 19. And when the cloud tarried, which is stayed long upon the tabernacle, many days, then the children of Israel kept the charge of the Lord and journeyed not. So the cloud stayed, it tarried, which is stayed. We didn't go on a journey, we stayed there.
Rest.
You better sleep, but yeah. You can.
No, we stayed there. Verse 20. And so it was.
You got a question?
They never traveled on the Sabbath, right?
No, it says, whenever, as far as I see, whenever it journeyed, it didn't say if not Sabbath or not.
Probably not.
Probably.
But we gotta find it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, probably.
Yeah, because verse in 22 it says whatever it's 2 days or a month or a year, whatever the Most High doesn't want us to go. The Most High let us go. Go whenever it rests. Most High want us to rest. So it doesn't say. Verse 9. And when the cloud tarried long upon the tabernacle many days, then the children of Israel kept the charge of the Lord and journeyed not. So they stayed. Verse 20. And so it was when the cloud was a few days upon the tabernacle, according to the commandment of the Lord, they abode in their tents. And according to the commandment of the Lord, they journeyed. So, whenever it stays, we stay. Whenever it journey, we journey. So the Most High, like when we're going to journey, it says it's going to journey, then we prepare ourselves, and we break down our tents and everything, and then we journey.
We on our way.
Verse 21. And so it was when the clouds abode from even unto the morning, and that the cloud was taken up in the morning, then they journeyed. So it was taken up, like ready to, it was like certain level, then we start to move, then we journeyed. So it's time for us to prepare ourselves, pack up our stuff, and journeyed. Whether it was by day or by night that the cloud was taken up, they journeyed. So it stayed. When it starts to, maybe it will like go further up or something, then they say, oh, it's time for us to pack up and prepare ourselves for journey.
So even day or night.
Yeah, they left. So they moved during the day and the night. They was moving.
Yeah, because we had at night we had the pillar of fire.
Right.
They give us a guideline.
Yeah, by day of the cloud.
Right, so that was just that was the sign. Like you always paid attention to the chariot. It's not like you couldn't. The chariot was difficult to see, but you always made was I forget the scripture in the Apocrypha that talks about us being what is it like when you are journeying all the time, like a nomad. There's another name. Forget when you don't have a constant resting place. You're always just journeying. Not a trend. Let's forget the word it says.
Wandering.
No, but anyway, so like for a case like this, like a nomad, you know that's not your permanent
location,
resting place, right? You just pitch a tent. That's like somebody go backpacking in the mountains. You pitch a tent.
Right.
You ain't gonna stay there for a while. You're gonna pitch a tent for about 2-3 days. You're gonna get and go somewhere else and go somewhere else. Right. So in the wilderness, that was the objective of how we just pitched a booth or a tent all the time. And then the chariot was there. When you start seeing it go like this, oh, you gotta go start packing up our stuff because we about to leave.
Okay.
We about to all leave, and then wherever direction is going, that's where you journey. Yeah. And then when it stopped, and then it descended above the tabernacle, then you stayed.
Okay.
That was the thing. So whether it was day or night, you always had to be, somebody was on watch. Somebody was checking out things, and then the call alarm went out. Hey, we all about to leave.
Blow the trumpet.
That was a sign. That was a lot of people.
Everybody saw it.
But it was a sign to let you know.
No, but I mean, as far as if you sleep, you ain't seeing it.
Somebody
else is watching. They gotta say, "Hey, you gotta get up.
You gotta get up. Yeah, it's time to go."
We all gotta leave, and you don't want to be the one left behind.
No,
we're not in the wilderness.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Without the protection of the chariot, right? You got a chariot.
All them people move.
Yeah,
all them people move. You gonna get up to move.
Yeah, and then keep in mind, this is a chariot, right? So it's like, we got a chariot rolling with us. The chariot done came to the Red Sea and everything, and we here now with the chariot. So you kind of I would think, I'm under the protection of the chariot. Wherever it go, I'm going to.
I'm up. Yeah. I'm up.
But it don't say chariot though.
It says cloud. I know.
It says cloud. Yeah.
It says cloud. The scriptures, it's in different places. It'll say cloud, chariot. Like we see tent here, you'll see booth there, right? You see tabernacle over there.
I always say that.
Yeah, it's different. It's different words for the same thing.
So it's like when they say when Christ ascended into heaven, it's they'll put up a painting of a so-called Caucasian, and he's top of a regular cloud that's going up like that, like he's just going up like that. So they don't have the understanding, so they try no, I'm saying they don't have the understanding like we have here. We have the understanding. So
hold on.
Yeah,
they had to understand, like he just told me.
No.
The Ten Commandments. They didn't put that in there. There's been too much information.
They knew. They know
know.
what we didn't know.
We didn't know.
We didn't
right
know.
now, this is the first time I ever heard this.
Well,
I
they
done
didn't
read
want to
this
put that
before.
type of information in, because that give you further knowledge on it.
Right.
What's going on?
Oh, I gotta listen to you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Too much.
They ain't know you didn't get all day.
Too much information. These niggas might figure it out.
No good.
They
No
took this
good.
out the Bible right here. That's too much happening.
Let me read something real small, real quick. I'm not gonna write it down. Revelation 1 and 3.
Oh man.
Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. So people say, oh yeah, they're gonna say some movie, but people say, oh, yo, did you read the book?
Right. You can't just look at the movie.
Yeah, did you read the book? And the book,
Read the book.
you know, maybe they have the movie like Hollywood style, you know, all this, all that stuff. But when you read the book, it's like, wow, the book says this. The book is more detailed. But I just want to read. That's just. I just want to read. Let me read another verse quickly. Nehemiah 9:21. Gabar, you can read that. Hey,
He
Gabar.
said to me to read that.
Okay. Because it sound like that when you say your name sometimes. They do.
But you got
What is Nehemiah?
Nehemiah,
What is it?
9:21.
Okay. Nehemiah 9:21.
Nehemiah.
It's time to boss. You say come and you got it.
Okay, Nehemiah 9:21. Yea, 40 years didst thou sustain them in the wilderness, so that they lack nothing. Their clothes wax not old, and their feet swell not.
So, so 40 years in the wilderness that we are in there, and we didn't lack anything, you know, food or whatever. We didn't lack anything, and our clothes, it didn't just, you know, tear off our bodies. You know, when clothes get old, you throw it away. This is like 40 years.
It's a lot of time.
40 years that the clothes in wax. It didn't get old. It was like it was still fresh.
And then
And
the
the-
kids
and
that
the
had to
feet.
grow up, look at that. The kid 40 years and they was a baby, and they were 40 years old.
Yeah,
They had to get
and
new clothes then.
and also when you walk on foot for a long period of time, your feet get swollen.
Well,
That's right.
So
40 years
Moses
long
said,
walk.
yeah, our feet didn't swell up. You know, even sometimes I hear people driving for a long period or something like that. It's like their feet get swell up then during the vehicle. Or like I said, you know, when you're walking a lot, your feet will swell up. So nothing happened to us. Clothes, food, our bodies.
we protect it.
Yeah. They're calm for quite.
And also, this was an experience for the future, right? We read last night, things here in the fourth time was great for our learning. So this was a learning lesson in the wilderness, in a place where it's supposedly uncomfortable, right? And to always be on the lookout and to be ready to move. Be ready to move and don't get comfortable. Because at any time, the cloud might get lifted off the ark, you got to get ready to go. And you don't know when. Sometimes it may stay for a day or two. It may stay for a month.
Right.
Or it may stay in the wilderness.
Right.
You always be ready, right? Don't get comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So, you don't know when Yahweh is going to make his second coming.
Right.
Right? So the second coming can be anytime. So don't get comfortable, always be prepared. So when the time comes, yours already on your body.
Right.
So it's a past situation that happened, but it was for our learning going forward.
Learn. Yeah.
Right.
So like in the Passover, we had our staff in our hand and we ate in haste. We with sandals on our feet, and we had a staff in the hand, ready to, like the first Passover.
Mm-hmm.
We're eating, holding with the staff in hand and eating in haste to leave, because we left when the Egyptian, tell us to go. We had to just hurry up and just leave.
So after 4 years, the all the blessings are gone.
Now, after 40 years in the wilderness, then we went into Israel.
I'm talking about far as not getting sick and not including that.
Yeah, for those 40 years, and we weren't sick. We weren't sick, and we were clothes didn't wear out and stuff like that. Our feet didn't swell, and we didn't lack anything. The Most High fed us,
His guidance.
gave us manna, gave us quails.
And how many people made it out after that?
After 40 years,
Yeah.
the first generation passed away. Then the second generation made, because we were like stubborn. So the Most High had the first generation pass away, and then the second generation just grew up, and then we went into the land of Israel. In the land of Canaan, which is African, some Hamites were there, and we drove them out, and we took the land. Oh, I lost my spot. Did I read 20?
Mm-hmm.
And 21? I'm at 21?
Yeah, you read 21.
I read 21. Verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
But I had two precepts, especially for our question about the cloud and the chariot.
Mm-hmm.
So what verse should I?
Well, it kind of goes with, you could say, anyone when you start reading about the cloud.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying chariot.
I put 21 then.
Yeah. You can write down 2 Kings. Second Kings, give you an example. 2 Kings 2 and 1. And then I'm going to jump to verse 11.
In 2 Kings?
In 2 Kings, 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 1 and 11.
Okay.
So in 2 Kings 2.
Okay.
Right. So it says, and it came to pass when the Lord would take up Elijah into heaven by a whirlwind, that Elijah went with Elisha from Gilgal. So this is a premise letting you know that the Most High is about to come and take up Elijah. Now, he used the word whirlwind here, right? And another verse could be a cloud. Another verse could be a chariot. Another verse could be something different. But keeping in mind with the context of how the scripture is written, the Most High does that in different forms. He'll even call a person by a different name. Like when you read the Kings, he can refer to one person by one name, and then the same person by another name. You just have to be able to understand the context that it's talking about that same one thing. So in this case, it's talking about the same thing. That chariot, cloud, whirlwind, whatever you want to, how you want to call it, UFO, it's all the same thing on how the Most High brings it. So you jump to verse 11. It says, and it came to pass as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire. Right. So now we just read in Numbers where it says that a cloud abode above the tabernacle. I mean, the cloud abode. It was a cloud by day, but a pillar of fire by night. Right. So now here it comes. It says, as they talking and moving, all of a sudden a chariot of fire appears. So this would allude that this is now somewhere in the nighttime, because if it's illuminating fire, this is in the evening, as opposed to when it's in the day, it's just a cloud.
It's a plain cloud.
Right? It says, and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. So right there, those two verses, you get the same thing described two different ways. One is a chariot and it's a whirlwind. The same chariot whirlwind is the same thing as taking Elijah up into the third heaven now. Okay. Right? So then it describes, it says a chariot of fire and horses of fire. Right? So now go to Psalms, I think 68. Psalm 68. Verse 17. Right? Psalm 68, 17, it says, the chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. Right? So now it lets you know that with these chariots, it's just not chariots by themselves that's empty. What else is in it? Angels. Angels is in it. Right? So it lets you know that it says when it's talking about the chariots of the Most High, it's dealing with the angels. Right? So now when we go to the, like in Revelation, when it's talking about the 4 horsemen, right? These horsemen is talking about spirits. Spirits are angels as well. Right? So the Lord is letting you know that when the chariots come, they're not just coming by themselves to just take up people, and he's commanding an empty vessel to come and take you like a bus that drives itself, and you get on the bus and there's no driver or someone who's leading it. Nah, it's going to be someone who's driving the bus. Someone who's driving the chariot. It's going to be the angels in there. Right? So when the Lord describes them as far as for these horsemen, the horses of fire, it's the angels that's coming in these chariots.
Oh, that's what the horsemen are?
Yeah. The angels. Exactly. Okay. So describing the chariots, whirlwind, clouds. I forget, there's probably another
flying roll.
A flying roll, right? All these different ways to describe the same thing. Okay. So it's as if when you're reading it, and you're the writer of the book that the Most High is coming to, and he's giving you the vision, and you seeing the vision, you articulate it in the spirit, the manner in which you see it. Oh, I think like a whirlwind. Oh, it looked like some kind of a chariot, a vehicle. Okay. Oh, it's like a cloud. Oh, it's like a locust. So you describe what it is because you in the past. Okay. Now we're in the future. We are able to comprehend and digest it. But if you see something that you've never seen before, and now you're looking at it, you got to come up with something that best describes what it is, and you write that down. Okay. But now that we have 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 witnesses to see the same thing, now we can bring it all together and be like, all right, I get it now. I see what he was describing and talking the same thing he described. Okay. That's what you was talking about. You ain't know what it was. They seen it too.
Yeah, even
mean the same thing.
It didn't say horsemen, it said horses.
Right.
So, but you just saying.
Yeah, because I can go pull a precept where it's the same thing, where it'll use horses like that in a context where it's talking about the angels.
Same thing.
Yeah. So I think it's in the Maccabees.
Yes.
Hebrew 1:7. And of the angels he sent, who makes his angel spirits and his minister a flame of fire.
You go.
So, so,
You know what I mean? Hang around him.
so even
Hebrews what? 1:7.
Hebrews 1:7.
Yeah.
so even now with all this modern technology that people are seeing and people used to seeing vehicles flying in the air, you got planes, you got helicopters, you got jets, and all of these things. Then people see vehicle go up like a chariot going up, and it's going like 45 degrees, like zoom and all different directions, or even standing still, like higher up,
They got airplanes like that,
higher than that,
straight up and hover.
just stay at a hover, and then you see that in 4 parts, it's go 4 different ways like that, and then it's like, and people are seeing this, and people are recording these things, and people are taking pictures, and people looking up and see these things are different. As if the chariot, sometimes you see like a cloud, as if a cloud is a circle, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and then it goes to different shape. And people are seeing these things and say, "What is that?" Even shutting down the airport. It's like the airplane, like we're not flying up in there. We don't know what is that, So verse 22, Numbers 9, verse 22.
So just to say that even when we see some inventions are being done, like and y'all can bring it out, we think that technology is moving forward. Actually, technology is catching up.
Yeah, right. Good, that's good, right?
Technology is there, but they can never catch up to the level of the Most High. No, they will never, because that originated from the Most High to begin with. So whatever algorithm, whatever formula they come up with to put things together, all that was already done by the Most High. Right? They just discovering different formula to put things together to where flying, catching up.
When they see these chariots move, they don't see any smoke or anything, and sometimes the chariots just disappear, and they look and say, "Where did it go?" Yeah. Angels, they don't eat like we do and things like that. Because when we see them eating, we see it's a vision. Go ahead, Zakar Manchan.
In Daniel 7:9, I beheld just let me read it to y'all. I beheld till the thrones was cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and his hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as a burning fire. They're rotating things, like you said, in all types of ways. It'll be like that here too.
Daniel 7:9.
Daniel 7:9.
And that description sounds like he's sitting in a chair waiting for fire coming out. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay, verse 22. Numbers 9, verse 22. Or whether it were 2 days, or a month, or a year, that the cloud tarried, which is stayed, upon the tabernacle, remaining thereon, the children of Israel abode in their tents and journeyed not. So we stayed, but when it was taken up, they journeyed. So it stayed on the tabernacle, and we stayed, and was taken up. Time to leave, then we journeyed.
There you go. Yeah.
That wasn't JT.
That wasn't JT. Well, I don't know about that.
That was ludicrous.
Oh, that was ludicrous.
I was saying, like, man, I don't know, sometimes I be up on this. I remember JT.
A lot of rap.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't know who it was these raps.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was JT.
Just like that.
Yeah.
How move you move?
Oh,
I know who
boy.
that is. Wait a minute, hold up. But go ahead, they asked him that.
Yeah, to say what it looks like, we don't know. I don't know what out of Most High's realm throne, what that looks like.
It's gonna be there.
Yeah.
Because what happened is the most side maybe change shape.
Yeah.
Like you can box it into one form.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That don't sound like anything that, you know what I mean? He was sitting down, his wheels was made of burning fire.
Mm-hmm.
That don't sound like the other chariot. You know what I mean? Well, I guess it's different forms of flying vehicles he got.
Many forms.
Yeah.
So in Revelation, you're gonna see like 200 million, 200,000, thousands, 200 million, yeah, coming. So they're gonna see Yahushua, Jesus Christ, in the forefront. He come amidst the clouds.
Right. Because it's like you talking about the intelligent being that created all things. So you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Numbers chapter 9, verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
At the commandment of the Lord, they rested in the tents. And at the commandment of the Lord, they journeyed. They kept the charge of the Lord at the commandment of the Lord by the hand of Moses.
Mm-hmm.
So, chariot, cloud, rest,
Mm-hmm.
move, it rest, we rest. And it move, then we move. Pack up our tents, and then we move.
Right.
Just like that. Tama?
I'm still stuck on the horse.
Go ahead.
I wanted to read this in the Maccabees. Second Maccabees. I'm gonna read one in Second Maccabees chapter 3. I'm gonna read another one in Second Maccabees chapter 5.
Second Maccabees chapter 1.
Chapter 3 and verse 23. I'm gonna start. And then I'm gonna read it in Second Maccabees chapter 5, and I'm gonna start from verse 1.
Second Maccabees.
Second Maccabees 3 and 23.
23. That's the first one.
This is the first one.
3.
It's page 142.
All right.
So it says, nevertheless, Heliodorus executed that which was decreed. So he was supposed to go and collect money from the treasuries of different provinces that were under the Greeks at that. The Greeks at that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was now coming to go and do that at Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
So it says, now as he was there present himself or present himself with his guard about the treasury, the Lord of spirits and the Prince of all power caused a great apparition, so that all that presumed to come in with him were astonished at the power of God and fainted and were so afraid. So everybody know what an apparition is.
Yeah, like a ghost.
Like a ghost.
Yeah.
So as they about to walk in, they just see this big thing and it's like, oh snap. Some of them fainted on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Others were so afraid, I'm not going in there after I seen that. So then it says in verse 25, for there appeared unto them an horse with a terrible rider upon him, and adorned with a very, very fair covering, and he ran fiercely, and smote at Heliodorus with his forefeet. And it seemed that he that sat upon the horse had complete harness of gold. So he decorated. Yeah, he got a nice garment on, harness with gold all about. It says, moreover, 2 other young men appeared before him. So it's just not the horse on the rider. Now all of a sudden, 2 others came, right, on the side of Heliodorus. It says, notable in strength, excellent in beauty, and comely in apparel, who stood by him on either side and scourged him continually and gave him many sore stripes. And Heliodorus fell suddenly unto the ground, and he was compassed with great darkness. But they that were with him took him up and put him in a litter. So this was the Most High now who intervened when he was trying to come into our treasury to come and collect money, come and collect gold. The Most High sent the spirit down and then sent a horseman on a horse, right? It just says first the horse, and you got a terrible rider on the horse.
Mhm.
Then you got two people, two angels that appear right beside him and start beating them. Jack them up. Think you're gonna come in here? Nah. And the interesting, as you read later on, Antiochus and them came with Menelaus, and the Most High allowed them in because Israel was sinning, right? Here, the Most High was with us, but then a few periods later, when you read the same book, the Most High allowed them to come in, right? But now I'm gonna read the next one, the Second Maccabees, the 5th chapter.
We read on to
I stopped at verse 27.
27.
Yeah. So this is Second Maccabees 5:1. It says about the same time Antiochus prepared his second voyage into Egypt. And then it happened that through all the city, for the space almost of 40 days, there was seen horsemen running in the air, in cloth of gold, and armed with lances like a band of soldiers, and troops of horsemen in array, encountering and running one against another, with shaking of shields and multitudes of pipes, and drawing of swords, and casting of darts, and glittering of golden ornaments, and harness of all sorts. So imagine as he's leaving, all of a sudden, throughout the whole city for a period of 40 days, you looking up and you see these angels just going about as if they got a war going on. They run about like they sparring and jousting and swords. 40 days. And you looking up in the heavens like, what the heck is going on? Then it says, wherefore every man prayed that apparition might turn to good. So they're looking up and they seeing these angels, and they don't know what it is. Even if everybody's praying that whatever that sign is, whatever that's supposed to be, hopefully it's for us.
They don't come down here and hurt you.
Yeah, like they prepare, like after a while, turn and start down on the earth. That even here, because these is angels that's up there, right? These spirits, the angels, the spirits are angels, the angels, the spirits. But it talks about them as being horsemen.
Okay.
Right? Or it should have different ways of describing the same type spirit, right? Where it'll describe us differently. We could be known as Jews. We could be known, kind of funny, known as Jeshurun. We could be known as Israelites, the saints. We got a lot of different titles for us. The Most High has a lot of different titles. Yahweh has a lot of different titles. But when you read it and you know exactly, basically even on context, oh, this is talking about. This is talking about Emmanuel, right? All these different ways of describing the same thing. Right.
Yeah. I see one or two people out the Bible, stuff like that. We can't let them know that, Bob. That's the deep stuff right there. Let's go outside, girls out there, and the bosses out there will go, hey, come on now.
So when the Moses had many times fighting for us, you know.
That's right.
When the plagues,
Like the camera.
the plagues of Egypt, the Most High sending, you know, fighting for us. That the Egyptian, you know, let us, you know, tell us to go, because otherwise they'd be dead men. Because they can't fight against all these elements. And even when in the Apocrypha you read that they saw, you know, apparitions, you know, and stink orders and so on and so forth. So that ends Numbers chapter 9. So we're gonna take a half an hour break. Come back at let's come back at 2 o'clock. Come back at 2 o'clock. It's still the Sabbath, you know, no cooking or cleaning or anything. It's a holy day. All right. Shalom, Israel.
Hey, boy. You know, I said the phone look different. You will be driving it.